And welcome back to the Buzz and the Keys with Pam and Rhonda
and Teri 3
and Teri Johnston, our Key West City Commissioner,
and also a resident artist. Remember, she painted that Travelhost cover for us. That was cool.
Yeah, haven't had much time to paint lately, but
we saw you painting a house on Duval Street, right?
Hey, but you know what? I have to tell you, I was so impressed that day. We, I guess it was 2 years ago, we joined you for Easter dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you had all this wonderful artwork that you created, and I had no idea that you loved to paint.
I'll tell you when it happened. To so many people in Key West, I think, after Wilma, we were all looking for a way to calm down and to get some inner peace. And so I just thought back, what was the one thing in my life that has always brought that, and it's been oil painting. So I bought some canvases.
Did you take art courses in?
I was an art minor in college.
Oh, you were?
Yep. And so I went right back and I took 2 refresher courses from Letty Nowak, and I was right back in the swing of things. So, and it is one of the most relaxing things that I do.
You do a wonderful job.
You know, it's funny
because
you did that. Terry actually did we had a photo of Inga, the drag queen from Aqua, holding up Travelhost magazine. We used to do these promos,
Look Who's Reading.
Look Who's Reading Travelhost. And so Terry's painting was of Inga holding Travelhost. But you know what? It sort of had that Letty Nowak feeling to it. I didn't think of it until you just said that.
Yeah. It's amazing how much you assimilate the artists that you're taking a course from, and you actually have to struggle to develop your own style.
Well, I think maybe you should have a little show at some point.
I have.
You have?
Actually, I have. I've been on Walk on White twice. My problem is I don't have any idea how to price anything, so I never sell it. People just come in and look at the stuff and...
Do they make you offers, or you just don't have prices on it?
Yeah, or they'll say, how much do you want for it? I said, gosh, I don't know. How much you want to pay for it?
Our friend Stacy Krupa in Island Murata says, my signature's worth $2,500. So
Holy moly. Nobody's ever seen my writing.
No, I always tease her. How much is that painting? She'll say, well, my signature alone is $2,500.
Holy moly.
Yeah, she just did a big exhibition in Aspen recently.
Oh,
which is,
wow.
So,
Wow. Well, as soon as this construction ends and city commission ends, and I'll be a full-time artist and go on the road.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Well, and speaking of the city commission, of course, you have been working diligently on and trying to get people to recycle.
Yep.
And how's that coming along?
Yep.
Are they kind of getting it, or how's that been going?
We have massive opportunities for improvement. I'll just leave it at that. We're sitting here at the end of the earth on a beautiful island, surrounded by water. In some very, very protected areas, and our recycling rate is 7%, and has hovered at 7% for a number of years now. There's some obstacles. We get a different type of individual that lives here. We've got snowbirds. We've got a lot of transient rentals. We've got a lot of visitors. But I come right back to the point of, if we don't respect our island and treat it with dignity and respect, nobody else coming to visit us is going to do so either.
Well, last week we had Rob from the National Park Services, who's doing this Eco Mariner program for Florida Bay. Yep. And he had lived in the Keys for many years, and he went to Samoa, the islands of Samoa. And he was just so taken back by the pristine, beauty. I mean, untouched reefs, beautiful waters. And he came back thinking, we need to be this way.
So he's doing that right now. He's trying to get that going.
And, and he's doing a whole online course. But I think, and then it comes back to the recycling, being green, that... And last week we had Mark Sertonio talking about getting restaurants to go green.
He's got he's got that organization he's putting together for the restaurants.
So it seems like people are starting to slowly embrace it.
They are starting to slowly embrace it. And I'll tell you, one of our biggest advocate groups are the children. The schools all recycle. We've got the recycling rangers from Horace O'Brien. We've got the kids get it. They understand the importance of it, and hopefully they will take it back to the parents.
You know what? I think that always happens because I remember back in the 60s with smoking. Now, I'm sure your parents probably smoked. I think all of our parents were smoking back then. But the same thing with smoking, because they started teaching children in grammar schools. And my sister came home to my parents, who were avid smokers, and said, you've got to stop smoking. This is what it's going to do to your lungs. And, my parents both stopped cold turkey and never smoked again, for the last 50 years. And again, I think that's so true. starting with these kids and the whole eco thing.
Out of the mouth of babes.
So you have something going on this weekend, right?
We actually had something last weekend.
Oh, okay.
And we had our last educational effort. I don't know if you remember, but in December of 2008, we put through the first reading of mandatory residential recycling for the city of Key West.
Yes, I do remember that.
And that was it was a tough battle, but we got it through. And on our second reading in January of 2009, we had a couple commissioners who were uncomfortable with the enforcement phase. So we said, fine.
For residential.
For residential. We said, fine, we're going to take a year and we're going to go door to door and we're going to educate. And we're going to have expos and forums and meetings.
Let me ask you, when you're going door to door, though, how did you just randomly knock on people's doors?
Absolutely. We canvassed entire neighborhoods.
What kind of response did you get when you kind of knock on the door?
Well, it was good response.
Nobody slammed doors in your face or say, get the hell off my property?
She's got a great face. Who would do that to Teri?
There were some people that were...
That only happens to us.
Oh, right.
There were some people that were less than happy to see you. But, those people, you just say, I've got some literature, I'd like to leave it for you. One of the things that is commonly unknown in Key West is the fact that everybody's paying for residential recycling, whether you're recycling or not. There is $2.33 is added onto your sewer bill, and has been for a number of years. So you are paying for recycling. And it's just the mindset of having somebody drop it in this receptacle rather than this receptacle. And,
how do you get the that word?
Receptacle.
Receptacle.
Well, actually, you can use any receptacle.
Oh, really?
We've got stickers out there right now that you put on. It's got the International Recycling sign. And you can use anything, a laundry basket, a box, anything at all.
That's really good to know, because I remember reading something in the Citizen's Voice, and somebody said, I want a recycling bin from Waste Management, and they told me that I had to come out to
Rockland Key.
Rockland Key,
yes.
Yeah. To get it, and I'm on a bicycle, and I want to recycle, but I can't. So I was always under the impression that you had to have a recycling.
That's what I thought too.
One of the things that we did, first of all, we said, let's think of the reasons why people are not recycling, and that was one of them, the receptacle. And so we talked to Greg Sullivan at Waste Management, and he said, we'll take anything. He said it just has to be easily marked, and it has to be under 50 pounds. So we came up with stickers. The city bought stickers that we've been generating for and distributing for a year now. That you just put.
Where do you distribute those?
We distribute them. They can be picked up at City Hall. They can be picked up at Glee, Love Your Island, Clean Key West. Any of those organizations. At every one of our educational forums, we've had them. We bring them to city commission meetings many times. So they are out there. And if anybody wants one, just email me. I'll take care of it.
What's your email?
It's johnston@keywestcity.com.
That's easy enough.
So,
such a simple idea, too.
It is. It really, it's just a mindset, though.
Important.
It really is just a mindset and a habit, and we've got to get people out of that habit. It's like somebody telling you for the first time. Do you remember when somebody said, you got to fasten your seatbelt? It's a law now. And you remember how irritated you were that it wrinkled your blouse, or it was a little uncomfortable, and blah, 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 blah. And then the police gave you a ticket for about a month. They gave you a warning, first of all, and then they gave you a ticket.
And you know what, speaking of that, I remember an ad from 30 years ago, and the ad was of a woman, and her face is all scarred up, like she looks like Frankenstein, and she said the reason she didn't buckle her seatbelt was because it was going to wrinkle her dress.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
I remember that,
Yeah.
Because I was one of those people who I don't like anybody telling me what I have to do, And to this
Rebel.
day, I still
That's
get,
for
I
sure.
still get mad. No, but I still get mad when that damn bell goes off in the car when you don't put it in. I don't mind it going off for 30 seconds or 60 seconds or 2 minutes, but just to keep dinging.
We got a new car, and she's not liking that at all.
Yeah, it's like the Gestapo mobile. But
she gets out of the car, it locks down, and then she has to go back. It's just a mess.
And I always do wear my seatbelt because I realize it's very important. And we've both been in accidents. Rhonda cracked up the car when I was getting gallbladder surgery because she had to get chipped beef at some place.
That's because they were an advertiser. But the airbag punched me out, but I was okay. But I had my seatbelt on.
But and I think you're right. Going back to recycling, that again, people just take a little time to get around. But we want to talk more about this, because we always have so many things to talk to you about. And now that we're on 1500 AM, we have more time.
And also, you'll get to check us out at conktv.com.
That's right. And we're streaming live right now at konkam.com. We will be right back with Teri Johnston, Key West City Commissioner, after these messages.